So hello, everyone. I'm Tish Hicks. I'm the Master Sensei of the VO Dojo here in beautiful Burbank, California. Jeffrey Gilbank is our talent support specialist and part of the dojo team here. And this is a call. This is a call that's called Get to Know the Dojo. Voiceover, the performer's secret weapon. So let me get my slides up here because that's what we're doing here. Hold on one second, get this started. Because there's pictures that go with my words. So let me get this going. Share screen. There we go. Da 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 da. And we will play. There we go. Okay, can everyone see that? Good. Okay, awesome. So yes, this is the VO Dojo, and this is Get to Know the VO Dojo, how voiceover can be your secret weapon. So it's not, we work with a lot of performers, but we work with a lot of people that are, we have such a fantastic, diverse cross-section of people. Right now, we have someone who's an architecture junior in architecture at Princeton, and we have someone who's a retired judge. Earlier this year, we had 3 ER doctors and the lead of Phantom on the Opera and Broadway. So we really, wherever you are, wherever you are in your journey, wherever you are in your life, either as a performer or non-performer, this is what the dojo is about. So let's see, a little bit about me. I'm Tish Hicks. I'm originally from Chicago. I've been in LA voiceover actor for 25 years now. Been the voice of Subaru for the last 8 years, was the voice of Citibank for 7 years before that. I have campaigns running for Workday, for Shackley. This is what I do. I'm a working pro, and here at the dojo we walk the talk. So everyone who's on the team is doing voiceover. So we're really about walking the talk here. Oh, here, look, look, pictures. So these are some of the campaigns that I've done. I've worked in all the genres that there are. Let's see. Oh, here's a little walk the talk. So this is one of my Subaru spots that you might have heard. This is an early one.
I love handling any situation I'm put in. I love going the distance and then some. I love when a good thing gets even better. I love my future voiceover.
Yeah, just good to know, you know, that I'm out there doing it just like you want, you know, you're going to be. So about 10 years ago, we're actually celebrating our 10th anniversary. Across the threshold into teaching, sharing my experience and bringing it and sharing it with people, not only as a way to make a living, but recognizing that it really is a way of life. That voiceover and how we approach voiceover, it really becomes a way of life. So the dojo is a full training program. It is designed to take you from I don't know to working pro, guides, support, connect, and accelerate you every step of the way. So the way we're organized is we have our development division and we have our working pro division. So in the development division, we start with you should do voiceover intensive. And if it's a 6-week intensive, we'll talk about the details. It's a 6-week intensive that gives you a comprehensive overview and a little taste of everywhere where your voice can be making money. If that sparks you, if you resonate with what's happening, what's opened up for you, and how you'd like to work, we have a 14-month full training program. that is called From Mystery to Mastery. It's divided into belt levels, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then when you finish your brown belt, you earn your black belt, and then you cross over into the working pro division, which is called the nth degree. So we have nth degree intensive, which is getting you, like, now that you're ready to step into the working pro world, we get you, boom, all set with that intensive. And then we have ongoing working pro accountability, support workouts and groups. And then, as we were talking about, some of you were here early with the VO Dojo Pro Fight Club, which is our working pro workout, brings together top-notch talent with the high caliber decision makers who hire us. We call it a fiercely friendly face-off that turns the audition process transparent. And that is, the connection part. Connection part is so important in a lot of different ways. So that's a little bit about what and how we do. I know we got a little bit about where you guys are from, but would love to hear where you guys are on that journey, because we just went from I don't know to working pro. So everyone who's on this call is somewhere, right, on that. So would love to in the chat, let us know where you're at on your journey. And so, like, did it never occur to you? Did you just see this on a Facebook? Why did you see this on an Insta post and go like, oh, cool, that sounds cool? Could be. Maybe you've taken some classes. Maybe you've gotten as far as having made a demo. Maybe you have a demo and you have representation. Maybe you're not booking as much as you'd like to. Maybe you're booking sometimes and you'd like to book more. Maybe you're booking in some areas and you'd like to book in other areas. And maybe you're booking regularly. And in which case we can meet you where you are and take you where, help you take you where you want to go. Or create a place for you to take yourself there is really how we approach it. So let me find my cursor and open up the chat. Let's see where we're at. We like to talk about it as a journey because the reality is that, one second, I need to, for some reason I can't look at the pictures and get the chat open. So let me do that and then I'll go back. All right. And I know some of you are currently in You Should Do Voiceover and some of you are in nth degree. So this is great. Everyone says you have a great voice. People tell me I should do it. That's a great thing. I have a demo, taking classes, booking sometimes. Ooh, that oh so itchy part between having a demo and having representation. Oh, yeah, Mindy has a demo and booking sometimes, classes. Oh, cool. Do work for the Army Field Band. That's a whole fantastic thing that we can talk about. Ashin Ann's out and doing it. I'm booking slightly, a touch of the booking. That's funny. Demo and freelancing. Awesome. So we have a really nice blend. Really nice blend. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Who's here because Heather told you about this? That would be interesting. Just write Heather Hill. I know we've got a great group of amazing opera singers from around the world, because Heather's been sharing about this. So awesome. Okay, so this is fantastic. Everyone, here's what happens at the dojo. We all work together, and everyone is here supporting each other. So there's always someone ahead of you. There's always someone coming up with you, right? And so we all learn from each other. And also, this is kind of that natural progression. We'll talk about it a little bit more but if you've never occurred to you, I think it's really good to know, I think it's really good to know where you're at, right? We are like, I want to be here. And then understand, oh, this is where I'm at. So let's see, let's get back to playing here. Great, great, great. And we will get some of your voices in the room here. So it's not just my voice, because that's less important. So those of you who are already on the journey understand, and those of you who are thinking of this as a possible journey, understand that there's like a dream and a reality, right? So we if you are a performer, we always have that, like, I know exactly what it is, and then the reality of what it is has some other has parts to it that might be challenging, or might be less glamorous, right? So what we're here is as the dojo is here to create a place where you can focus all your energies, and focus all your energies to allow your dream to become reality, and not like, we'll make your dreams come true. No, you'll make your dreams come true. We'll create a place for you to have the space to uh, attain, to have the things that you are envisioning, right? um, and I think now more than ever, this is so important. I'm probably preaching to the choir literally here, but it has been a really, really intense couple of years for everybody, no matter what you do. So if you're a performer, understanding that, I mean, for the first time, like since the restoration, right? Like there's nothing. Um, so the thing that has kept through, hold for thing that has kept through going through all of the pandemic has been voiceover. So we'll talk about this in a second. And then we're kind of coming back. Broadway's back, but now sets might be closed for a strike. So the idea is, how do you create? How do you add voiceover? How do you diversify your money making abilities? And make sure that you always have something that is going. The other thing, going back to the idea of what's happened over the pandemic, I think we've also found that there's a lot of people who are like, I want to do what I want to do, and there's no reason that I shouldn't do that. So that's another approach to it. So now more than ever, as performers and as humans, diversification is essential. So the idea here is, how do you make this something that can be a reliable source of income, um, that you can always have, no matter what's going on. Now, we are very realistic here in terms of, we like to dispel myths, right? um we like to dispel myths of, like, oh, it's hard to break into, and it's da, 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 and it's, yeah, it is hard to break into, that's true, but we don't look at that as a challenge. We just look at, like, just be good, right? Like, just get to know what you're doing and be good. um but we don't voiceover is not a get rich quick scheme. It's build a successful, sustainable career sort of thing. So it's a little bit more the long haul, and you can be making money along the way, but it's not like, and then ta-da, I'm a voiceover artist. It requires a little bit. So we do like to say that straight up. It's not that. So, but why is this good? Um, Again, preaching to the choir. If you're in it, you know why. But voiceover can be big money. I don't have my um my little fan of residual checks that I sometimes pull out. But there's the potential to make a really good, solid living. At the dojo, everyone's going to determine what their financial needs are, but we structure our training to, why wouldn't, let's see what it takes to build a six-figure career. Why not? It takes about as much energy to do that as anything else. And does it happen instantly? No. Do you lay the foundations for it so that it can? Yes. Should you have the expectations? Sure. Why not? This is really, this has become more and more than ever. It's a global opportunity. You can do this work from wherever you are, as long as you have good internet connection, really. And over the course of the pandemic, places that you might not even have access to, because you'd have to be in that place to do that work, are opening up in new ways. And it's also something that you can do for a long time. This can be something that you do well into however long you want to do it. And you can start, my kids do voiceover. They're making money, doing sessions and stuff like that. So pluses. So how do you make money in voiceover? This is an interesting thing. So there's so many ways that you can be making money in voiceover. We call it the paths to cash. And this also lays out all of the different genres that you can explore, and all the different ways that you can diversify within your voiceover career, right? Yeah, so let's just take this in for a second. Let's get some voices in the room for a second. I want to keep going because I want to have time to ask your questions and stuff. But well, actually, let's see. Let's just do a raise of hands. Hold on. We'll get voices in the room in a second. Who's surprised by how many opportunities there are? Surprising, yeah. If you had to choose, like, what you're after, like which genres excites you? Which genres excite you? Let's see. I'll do this. But you know what? I want to hear people's voices. This is too much. You've been quiet. It's voiceover. We should. So shout out. What do you see?
That whole bottom right corner, animation through announcer, all the way up to narration.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. What else? What else excites somebody?
Audiobooks.
The audiobooks.
Audiobook here too, and narration.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Audio
probably say the
drama
whole.
and
Hmm?
audio
Maybe.
drama and narration.
Yep.
The entire right side and maybe some radio.
Excellent. Well, radio is on the right side there, but you
Oh.
mean like
like radio host, yeah.
I see. Like, yeah. Okay, like the podcasty stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, it's so much better.
Yeah, I pretty much cover the narration field.
Yeah, good. Excellent. And then the great thing is that when you have it going, then what could be next? That's the next thing. Good. Yeah. So this is a most of, I think this covers most of, and each year new things develop and there's new things that need voices. So yeah. Oh, good. We got to get voices in the room. That's so much better. Hi, everybody. You're not just chat, it's voiceover. So I want to breeze through this. It seems like we've got a lot of people who are in the mix. Will we say to anybody who's already in the mix, as well as those who are just starting, coming to the dojo, we really do meet you where you are. So the idea here is, how can we complement and supplement what you already know? Affirm like, that I know, and then maybe open up to other ways to approach it too. So just in general, what is VO? There's a couple of concepts that we like to lay down as foundations. First of all, voiceover is an art form that serves commerce. And then that art form, or that commerce can serve your art form, right? So this is really important because if you have any issues with that, it's really good to get through it or don't do it, because nobody cares if you do this or not. But this is what voiceover is about. So and then we guide you we guide you to ways to get through it if there are issues about selling stuff or things like that. But it's an empowering way to approach it. Oh, here it is. And then the commerce serves your art form. This is the heart of how we approach things at the dojo. This is a foundational concept that everything is built on. That voiceover is communication, and communication is an exchange of vibrational energy. So that's it. So everything that we're doing here, and everything everything that you can start hearing and feeling, you understand, when we bring it down to that level, it doesn't matter if you've been to acting school, if you've never done anything before, because this is just a very human exchange of vibrational energy that we experience every day, right? Some of the background of the dojo, I'll talk about this in a second, is I am a kickboxer, and my kickboxing sensei is Benny the Jet Urquidez, and I've worked for many years with his wife, who is a medicine woman shaman, and they talk about it's the energy underneath the words that is actually how we connect. So we bring this to every form of voiceover on that chart, and how we bring it to ourselves. And then, so how do we bring ourselves into that is the foundation. Let's keep on going. So how do we get here? We kind of talked through this in terms of where we decided where everybody is, right? So this is a natural progression. Here's I don't know. Here's working pro with money. Questions, money, right? So at the dojo, we break this down into belt levels. White belt is the You Should Do Voiceover Intensive, where we initiate you into the ways and open your awareness. Yellow belt is exploring, continuing to play like, ooh, where are all these voiceover parties? Green belt is self-exploration, which becomes your demo preparation. What are you bringing to the party? Blue belt then is producing the demo. Here's something I have that is representative of what I'm bringing to the party. And then brown belt is integration, which is going to be different for everyone, right? Everybody's at different phases of their life. Everyone lives in different places. Everyone has different things that their voice serves, right? And then black belt is not culmination, it's expansion, because we're always, no matter where we are, moving and growing. So the curriculum is structured around there. This is the Mystery to Mastery program, the yellow belt through brown belt. So what does it take? 5 things. Decision. Once again, nobody cares if you do this or not. If you want to do it, you will find a way to do it. Mindset, which we'll talk about in a second. Technique. Having tools of the trade, and knowing what you're doing and how to do it, or an approach to do it, right? And then application, that's the 10,000 hours, that's putting your practice in, that's getting good at what you do. And support. I've got the boxer here. I've got the boxer here because I think sometimes voiceover people are like, oh, well, I could just do that, right? Which you totally can just do it. But if someone came up to you and said, hey, people tell me all the time I should be a professional boxer, what should I do? You'd be like, well, you think about what you need to be a professional boxer, and it's kind of all of these things. So let's see. So this becomes a framework of how we approach the you should do voiceover, and how we approach the 14 months as well. These are sort of the foundations. So first thing, decision, right? We talked about that a little bit. You don't casually find yourself on the top of K2. That was that. And then the next thing is mindset. This is really important for how we do things at the dojo. It really is a very holistic approach to the art form and business of voiceover, and the internal training is equally as important as the external training. So I wanted to share a few foundational concepts that we work from. So the rules of voiceover, the rules of the dojo. So we have the rules of the dojo, and we're going to share the rules of voiceover. Rules of voiceover: share your truth, trust your voice, keep energy moving forward, both in your copy and in your career, in your soul. Listen carefully. It's an oral medium, and we hone in on what we can hear, both the technical and also that energetic, and most importantly of all, playfully and playfully. So those are some of the mindset things that we talk about. And then next we have so decision, mindset, technique, application, support. So technique, I want to give you a couple of the tools that we work with. This is like a mini toolbox. So the first thing is a mindset thing and a technique, but we talk about entering the zone. That whenever you step up to the mic, that you get your bearings, you center yourself, and you enter this sacred yes space. This is where everything else goes away, and the answer is yes, right? This is where we ask our inner critics to step out, so we can do what is in front of us. So here's a few tools here. One of the foundations of our technique here is, and when I say our technique, I don't put like a trademark on that. An approach that we take here, some of the tools that we introduce. The way of the dojo is really that we are here to facilitate you finding your way. So these are some tools that can be used as a foundation for the work that you will be building, but it's not our technique, trademark, there's stuff. So I just want to emphasize that we are here for you to find your way and build your approach to this. But this is sort of a heart of the toolbox that we share. We call it the braid of analysis. And so for each piece of copy, there's if you think of it as 3 strands: connection, logic, and energy, right? You can go through a piece of copy and look at it for connection, and then you can look at it for logic, and you can look at it for energy. And the reality is, when we're working on copy, we're always weaving them together equally. So let's go a little bit further into this. And so the first strand always is, well, not always, because sometimes it might not be, but the first strand we'll talk about is connection. So each strand has 2 plies. two plies to it, right? If you think of a piece of thread. So the first is find what resonates for you, right? And then who are you sharing it with? So if you go back to that vibrational energy, if you're talking about something that you truly, truly love and truly feel something for, that's going to come through. So you want to find what resonates. Or if you're talking about something that truly doesn't resonate, how do you adjust it, right? And actually, how do you adjust it here? Because we can think about adjusting it, but it's actually when we resonate with it from here. And then who are you sharing it with, right? Who can you connect with? So connection first, always. That's the whole point of all of this. The next thing is logic. And the two strands of that are, what are you talking about? And how are you saying it, right? There's a structure to copy. There's a message that you're conveying, and there's a way that you're saying it. So there's a tone of the copy that you figure out what it is, and then how does it make sense to you, and how are you making it make sense for me, right? If you don't know what you're talking about, I won't know what you're talking about, just like in real life. So we have connection, logic. So we can read down for connection, up for logic. And then the third thing is energy. And the two strands of energy are, how much energy does it take to deliver this message? Right. And I like to think of that as like, which ski hill would you need to, which ski run would you have to come down to effectively deliver this message? Right. And then the second part is, how is energy flowing through? How do you keep it moving forward? Has anyone seen anyone do parkour? If you've ever seen anyone do parkour, that's the physicalization of what we do with the energy through a piece of copy. We keep it moving forward. We can do different things, but we can jump up, we can go down, we can climb up a wall, we can go over a roof. We got to keep the energy moving forward. So that's a really quick intro to the braid of analysis: connection, logic, energy. Let's see what's next here. Oh yeah. So any questions about these little toolbox that I just laid out? This really foundational toolbox. Any questions about anything? No, all makes sense. Excellent. Okay. And here we go again, the 5 things that it takes: decision, mindset, technique, then the application. So it's one thing knowing these ideas, and then, oh, how do you apply them? How do you make them part of what you do on a daily basis, make them part of your practice? And the last thing is support, which, oh, well, here's application. And support. So the dojo, we're about the art form, the business, and the community. So the reality of voiceover is the actual day-to-day doing of voiceover is actually very isolating and solitary. And it's become even more so because we're sitting in our closets, right? We're in our closets or in our booths, away from each other. So it's always just you, but you never do it alone. And that's what the dojo is about. Yeah. So I would love to open up to, well, actually, yeah. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I share, I'll share what's, oh no, you know what I want to do? You know what I'd love to do? I would love to, we've got a little time. I would love to talk to a few people, see how much time we have. Let me stop this share. Hold on. Oh, escape. Let me stop this share. I would love to talk to a few people and get a sense of where you where you are. Let's talk about where you are and where you'd like to be. And I think, like, who is just beginning on their journey, like who's like, whoa, this is, well, Hector, we know you because you're already in. So so we know you. Who don't we know? Hector's in, you should do voiceover right now. But we could probably talk to you about what you want to do next, and that could be a good thing. So who else is like just beginning, like hasn't done anything? Okay, Megan, I see you. So let's why don't we like tell us, remind us where you're from, because I know you put in there. Get
Seattle.
you Seattle. Awesome.
Mhm.
Cool. And what's your journey? What's your journey so far? Like what's your journey so far?
So I've been acting, mainly stage stuff forever, kind of as a hobby. I decided to do it more professionally recently. And then COVID hit. Great timing. And voiceover is something that I've actually always had an interest in, increasingly in recent years, just because it seems like there's so many more things you can control about the voiceover industry. That's very relative, right? But and until recently, I actually lived between two hospitals, so I had sirens going constantly, and it just wasn't a reality to do voiceover. So I've moved to the suburbs, and I decided, and especially with COVID, and I had a day job that was awesome, but it just wasn't creative. It was just sapping my energy, and I was so grateful for it, but I couldn't wait to move on to something else. And so I thought, all right, it's time to pursue voiceover. So I did some webinars, and I, got a beginner's mic, nothing super high end, just something, to learn with, and set up a little booth in my closet, and then reached a place of, okay, well, now I need some guidance for what to do and where to go and how to train, and I understand it's going to take some time, and I'm prepared to put the work in for the next year, and become this voice. I really want to master the craft. I love, like, all of us, I love telling stories, and I want to do it really well. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Very cool. Very cool. And where do you want to be?
Oh, I want people calling me up and saying, Megan, we have a, Pixar movie that needs your voice.
It is the ultimate, it's the holy grail. We just did voiceover. We just did the nth degree intensive, and everybody, like 90% of people are like, Pixar.
Yeah. Or I mean, it doesn't have to be Pixar, but huge budget, lots of awesome voices, really fun, successful films.
Animation.
Yeah, I love to do animation.
Yeah.
Or I mean, and then in the interim, audiobooks are awesome. I love radio drama. I want to be part of the spearhead that makes it more popular throughout the United States.
Yeah. And I think as people with theater backgrounds, that there's video games is a great realm, because it's where storytelling is happening. And there's the whole realm of performance capture. We partner with Richard Dorton, who is Mocap Vaults. So yeah, there's that whole realm of telling stories, and all of what we train for as theater people is very applicable. Cool. So it sounds like you've got a good sense of where you are and that you're in motion on it. What is the other stuff that you do? What other things do you do in addition? Because you said acting is something you've done in other parts, or as a something, and now you're approaching it more like a thing.
Yes. So basically, lots of community theater growing up, high school theater. And then I went out and did a theater tour around the nation and a little bit overseas. That was amazing. Lots of musical theater, although ironically, music has never been my strong point. Also a dancer. And then been doing film projects, everything from little passion projects to like, oh, here's a project we hope to take somewhere, and from Seattle. So traveling to projects or finding projects that are here in the area. Washington State hates film. They try to put the kibosh on it as much as possible. So it's a special kind of challenge. But basically just kind of feeling out like what's out there and trying to find my people, you know, because
Right,
there are
right, right.
people who want to tell a great story in the same way you want to tell it. So
Yeah, and
a
then
lot of searching.
what are the other things that you do? Like what like
Oh.
I'm just trying to get a sense of like, because one of the things that is really exciting about this work is that whatever else you do, you can, like, if you look at that chart, I see I could apply that to here. So it's like what other work do you do? Like what other things do
Oh,
you
I see. Well, ironically, I was a copy editor, but I just got laid off.
Wait a
So,
minute. So you work in advertising?
marketing, yeah. Yeah, it was an
Okay.
internal marketing department for the
Yeah,
company.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's huge. That's huge because you understand the business from both sides of that, right? You understand the methodology of it. You understand the process of it. And one of the things that's really, really great is one of the things we say at the dojo is there is no they, there's only we. Right. So if you apply that to everything from wherever you are in this business, that that applies to everything, right? There is no they, there's only we. And if you think of yourself as part of the process rather than what is it? It's out there. It's something separate from me. So that's super cool. You have insights into the business that are just going to be like things that you see and know inherently because of your background, that are going to be applicable to this. So that's really cool. As I was coming up, I studied at Northwestern. I trained as an opera singer. Did Second City. I did all the performance-y things. And coming up, I also had a graphic design company. So I was in that marketing mindset and understanding how to tell a story visually, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. Cool. Let's take some questions here. What questions do you have? And then I'd love to talk with somebody who's a little bit further along and also see what's up next. And everyone, if you put in the chat like where you are and where you'd like to be. And then, what are things that are missing for you? Like what are things that you're looking for in between? That's a great thing to just, ask these questions and articulate. Yeah. Anne, I think you raised your hand. What's your question?
Hi.
Mm.
Hi. Where I am and where I'd like to be is I've been auditioning for 2 years and I've been doing acting training for a long time. And I do on camera and I've booked a few jobs and I'm reaching out to agencies with a couple of demos that I'm pretty proud of. So where I want to be is booking regularly and I'm creating my signature and my niche, getting to know where I'm articulate by nature. So just to be believable and conversational is a stretch, but I'm getting there. I'm getting a little more less full of shit. Pardon me. It's not that nice to say about myself, but I have
Anne's inner critic. Hi. Hi, inner critic.
Yeah. No, I know it. I've pushed things to the character point and it doesn't really work. And I think what's so beautiful about the dojo is that which I've also applied to competitive show jumping with horses, is like your authenticity shows up no matter what. You can talk your way into something. You can have this and that to get you on a pedestal, but if you're not there fully embodied, nothing flows, nothing happens. You don't get around a course and you don't get through a script with anybody looking twice.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I think that's really interesting because I know we've talked about this before when I came to talk to the
Christy
Tennessee.
Bond.
Yeah. But I think that's a really, really powerful image because as a writer, we have to tune into ourselves and we have to tune into our horse and what's going on and what our intention is for us for both of us to accomplish, right? And if you're working, jumping over 7-foot fences, that's like
3 foot.
that's a big thing.
3 feet.
3 feet. Okay. So, but if you think about that, that is exactly what we're talking about, connecting with. If you think about the people who are going to be receiving what we're sharing, right? As the horse that we need to connect with, or the copy is the horse. I'm not sure where this metaphor is going, but somehow
Everywhere.
we need to bring ourselves to the copy so that we can deliver it and have an impact, right? But we have to do that connection in the moment. And some copies are going to be easier to connect with than others. Some days we're going to be more in tune with ourselves, right? So it's a really interesting metaphor. And I think so. Anne's an equestrian, but what is the thing that in your life that you have to connect with to bring your authentic self to have an impact? But that's an interesting question to think about. If you're a singer, there's ways that we know when we got it, right?
Mm.
Yeah. When someone can sing technically perfectly, and we don't, excuse my French, but we don't give a rat's ass, because it's like, okay. And someone can sing less technically perfectly, but oh my gosh, we can't breathe because we're so moved. So
Yeah, it's mysterious where the that inner knowing and the flow of when everything is all going from a place of authenticity and with great intention, and all the needles in the haystack are aligned, and how wonderful everything is going. Like, how does that apply to the rest of the world? How does that apply to a casting director who's looking for me? And so the missing link is the or maybe it's there and I don't know it yet, but it's just it's connecting the dots. It's all this marketing and networking and LinkedIn and relationship.
It can be. Well, it is relationship. It really is. It is it. And that's the other layer of connection, right? There's connection with ourselves, there's connection with the material, there's connection with the audience we're sharing with, and then there's connection in terms of building your business, right? And understanding how that works, and becoming part of the voiceover community, and becoming part of whichever realm you're going to be working in. How do you build that connection and become part of that? So
Yeah, so I love the choice of being involved with people who are like-minded that way is so great. I'm super curious how Tish and Jeffrey and the dojo actually like constructs it, and like what it looks like for the 6 weeks and stuff like that. So if
let me go back to sharing the screen, and we can finish up here. We're almost at the 1 hour, but we can talk a little bit more. So let me finish up here, and I'm happy to hang out and answer more questions and hear. Oh, what are we doing here? Kitty, that's not what we're doing today. Here we go. We got this. We were here. All right. So here we go. So come on, little thing. You can do it. There we go. Oh, so here's something that is not in white for some reason. Let me see if the next, oh, there we go. There we go. So in terms of the You Should Do Voiceover intensive, this is what the 6 weeks look like. Week 1, we lay down foundations. We did them really quick here. We go a little bit more in depth and set a baseline. Weeks 2 and 3, we explore commercials and the layers of nuances. So we apply the tools and in each genre, and then we build on taking them into the other realms as well. If week 4 is narration, week 5 is anime and video game, and then week 6 is equipment and commercial. We return to commercial and we run a session. So at the end of week 3, or end of week And of the commercial section, we basically run through, this is an audition process. So it's very hands-on, very collaborative, learning and listening from each other. And then the week 6, we basically, this is what a session feels like. These are the things that you'd need to do a session. This is what it feels like. Now, if you're on your journey already, we recommend that you you should do voiceover just so we're on the same page and we can hit the ground running and take it from there. That's what we found to be most impactful. Let's see. So, and this happens in a couple of ways. You get a weekly recorded lesson that you take in. We meet for 3 hours once a week and apply the lessons together. Each week you'll have a casting assignment that you bring to the class, and then there's work that we do in between. As I was just saying, it's very hands-on, like this is what is required, this is what it takes, this is what it feels like, this is how it feels like fitting it into, we always talk about the, weaving voiceover into the rich tapestry of your gorgeous life, right? Because that's what we're doing. Always we want more of the weaving to be voiceover, and so less of the other things. Yeah, and then we don't we give a overview of the foundations of, we're not focused on the technical right now, because really you need to know what to be thinking about. But it's not like we're gonna get you set up in a second. We're gonna teach you how to think about a lot of what you should do voiceover is how creating frameworks to think like a voiceover pro, and how you can approach it, or take it to the next level, right? Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful. And then here's just a couple of quotes. This is David Varela, who's he's 23 when he started You Should Do Voiceover. Very, very talented young man, and really good, smart, creative guy. He did Mystery to Mastery, and he signed with DPN as a non-union talent. He was after that. And then Ann Cannengeiser, one of our Broadway babies. She did You Should Do Voiceover and Mystery to Mastery on the road with the Phantom of the Opera touring company. So there's some folks that are there. I'm gonna send this to, well, actually, yeah. So this is Jason Vanderbrake. Jeffrey, just for time's sake, I'm gonna actually let's play Jason.
Hi
and
there.
then
My name is Jason Vanderbrake. About 2 years ago, I did the You Should Do Voiceover Weekend Intensive at the Dojo with Tish Hicks leading and a few other people. It was an absolutely incredible experience. I loved it. In fact, I loved it so much, I decided then and there, voice acting is for me. I'm going to do this. So I went on to the Mystery to Mastery program. About a year after I did the You Should Do Voiceover Intensive, I cut a demo. I got picked up almost immediately by William Morris Endeavor Entertainment, which was awesome. About a year after that, so like I said, about 2 years, I am working very steadily as a voice actor. I voiced hundreds of commercials, and I've been on the radio, and I just did the Red Nose Day special live announce on NBC, which was incredibly exciting. So my career is growing, and I'm not saying any of this to brag. I'm saying this to give a huge shout out to Tish Hicks and the VO Dojo, and specifically the You Should Do Voiceover Intensive. If you're thinking about it, just do it. I promise you will not regret it. In fact, you're going to wish you did it. You started doing voiceover years ago. So push that register now button and get on board. Do the You Should Do Voiceover Weekend Intensive. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. All right. Thanks.
So a little update. So it's been more than 2 years. Jason is one of the OG Mystery to Mastery people. So he has gone on to have a huge career. Yeah, so that's that. So let's talk about what's next, and how you can jump in. We work we work, obviously, we are doing everything virtually now, so we can work with you wherever you are. Wanted to share with you, thank you so much for being here today. And again, we'll stay and answer more questions after, but if you need to roll after this. The You Should Do Voiceover is coming up. We have a Saturday class, October 16th, starting Saturdays. And then we also have a Mondays class, October 25th. I think that's the right thing. So we have the last two You Should Do Voiceovers of the year coming up. And if you're interested in working in, like, if you're more advanced and want to talk about your ultimate goal is coming into like mystery to mastery at a higher belt level, or nth degree as a working pro, recommend that this is where you start. So we do have that foundation. So if you're interested and want to sign up today, we're offering $50 off. I'll give you the promo code. And then we're also offering the first 5 people who sign up for You Should Do Voiceover. We're also giving a Fight Club audit, which is $49 value. So that is the offer. Here's the place to do it. And yeah, so if you go there, you can sign up. You can get information about everything at www.thevodojo.com. This offer is good till tonight at midnight. And then if you have questions, want to talk more, you can also sign up for a voiceover once-over call. And we can have this discussion that we've had with Megan and Anne with you to talk about where you're at and what you want to do and how that works. You know, how we can find where you're at and how we might be able to help you get where you want to go. I think that's everything. I'll just keep this up. But yeah, is the any other? Let's see. It's 10 o'clock. So if you need to roll, do we have the link to the voiceover once-over, Jeffrey?
Yes, I just dropped it in the chat.
Awesome. So that's there. We'd love to talk with you about anything else. But what other questions are on your minds? Oh, actually, you know what? Before everyone goes, let's finish up with Dojo O's, and then we'll open up to questions. So every time that we get together at the dojo, we finish up with what we call Dojo O, and so this is just like what's one thing. Choose one thing of everything that we talked about that made you go oh, or oh, or oh, whatever the quality of the O was. And then the game is to distill it into its most essential form. So this is part of the practice at the dojo, because what happens is, one, we leave with however many people are here, 20 gems, right? 20 gems that are like, oh, I saw that. Here's another perspective. And here's a great little succinct way to say it. I'm going to think about it. And then the other thing is that it's just a gymnastic exercise of going, boom, we covered a lot of territory, opened up a lot of new thoughts, and I'm going to distill it into this one. And that's all we do as voiceover artists. So yeah. So put your Dojo O's on. If you have to roll, we are so looking forward to having you here and having you join us. And you know, if there's anything we can help with in any way, just we're always here, and there's always good things going on. Yeah. And what other questions are there? What other questions? Any other thoughts or?
I would like to ask just about getting started as a SAG voiceover actor. Yeah, I've done a little bit of dubbing for anime, like back in the day, and I've done little things here and there. But recently, I my film career made it so that I was SAG, and I've missed voiceover, and I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to connect back to that because all of my connections in it were non-union, and I don't know how to straddle that divide.
So, okay, so it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a dilemma. So, and this is where everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different, right? If you're union or not yet union. Um, so in some ways there's some, you could say there's just some realities about where things are at. And the amount of union work is less than it has been previously. The amount of work is more than it ever has been. The amount of union work is less. However, it is still where, where the residuals come in, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to, first of all, make your decision about how you're going to approach it. And so if you're looking for union work, then your path is going to be great. How do I put my energies into creating relationships with people who have access and can be part of my team that get access to the union opportunities, right? There's also more and more opportunities to convert work to union. So if you're working on a narration job that's non-union, but it meets a certain level of union uh, money requirements, that you can convert it to union work. So it's a little wonky. It doesn't make total sense, but it can, that is how you could approach it. And everybody needs to make their own decisions in this landscape, but there is an option called FICOR, which would allow you to do both. And that's between you and your God, and each of us need to understand what the implications of that are. It's a little less mark of the devil than it used to be. And I think also what is also happening is I think SAG is finally understanding, like, oh wow, we really need to make make this accessible. So it's really understanding that there is a path. There is a path as a union actor, and you can say it, and it's going to be different. So it's just finding what are those things, and it may not be. It may be a little bit more building into it, and then understanding the opportunities that are on the way. How to really run your business and go, okay, I work in this. Like, for instance, audiobooks is a great way. Audiobooks is a really low hanging fruit that you can get started today. I mean, you can get started, right? And if you're union, audiobooks is someplace that used to be pretty much non-union, that anybody who was a narrator didn't have access to it. And now you can choose to have anything you do in audiobooks, with most public, with most people that you'll be working with, can be can be applied to your union. So that's, you find the places where it is and where you can get it. And then, does that make sense? It's a combination of, like, there's realities, and then there's realities that we all need to know. I really need my fan of checks, because I'm like, here's the union, here's why we do the union work. Yeah, so it really is finding your path, and then putting your energies where the union opportunities will be, and then having those very Dostoevskian conversations of what choices you're going to make for your circumstances. Is that helpful?
Yeah, very much.
And there's people like Soundbox LA, my friend Tim. Sorry, there's a squirrel in my garden. Watching, sorry, literally squirrel. I'm not ADD. It's okay. Yeah, so there's places that if you have questions about connecting to convert jobs, we can connect you with Soundbox LA as a signatory company. So there's people who can help clarify. So
okay, that's very cool. I hadn't ever heard of that converting thing.
Yeah, and we're all about, like, great. So there's lots of circles, they feel disempowering. Terrific. How do we empower ourselves? How do we run our businesses, and how do we I think that's a lot of times, we talked about we, not they. And I think a lot of times as performers, there's a lot of just language that is embedded, that is disempowering. Like
Mhm.
we submit our headshots, we submit. I need representation because I cannot stand on my own. I need to be represented. That's maybe dramatic about it. But I think the more, oh, now there's a wildlife show happening because the cat's chasing us. Okay, focus, Dish, focus. But yeah, so this is, I think, one of the things as voiceover artists, we're really entrepreneurs. Right? We're entrepreneurs. Our skills are the things that we are packaging, marketing, knowing the value of, and finding the markets for. But we are entrepreneurs. And so what, I, rather than submit an audition, I say I'm delivering an audition, because you know what I am? I'm a professional that has a product, and I deliver it to you. I don't submit so you could say yes, right? We talk about being the chosen one at Fight Club, not the winner, right? Because it's not a game, it's a business, right? And it's selection, not rejection, right? So that's the sort of mindset stuff that, and as a union actor, you need to empower yourself. Ironically, because yeah. Good. What else? What other questions? What other thoughts? We can read some of the Dojo O's. Yes, and yes, say yes, yes, yes. One of the exercises that I recommend is just wherever is your space of creation, find a pad of Post-it notes and a Sharpie, and just write yes, 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 yes. So whenever you look up, the answer is yes, and you see it. And this physical act of say yes. Yeah. Good, good. Anything else anyone like to share or thoughts? It's helpful. Oh yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you know of any challenges that would face a voiceover artist or anyone else getting into the voiceover field, that would be different in Canada versus the US?
Oh, let's see. I think in a lot of ways it's similar, in that there's union and non-union work, and the same challenges are there. So I think that the challenges are, like, I think things are fairly similar, and then you just need to figure out what are the differences. But one of our dojo members now is American but lives in Montreal. And then there's lots of like Jody Krangle. I just did a Clubhouse chat with her. She's Canadian. In terms of animation, there's a lot of animation work that happens out of Vancouver. For a while in LA, the problem was that everything was going to Canada. And so like that was the problem here. So, and then it's a solution. Where are you located, Alex?
I'm in Prince Rupert. I'm about 14 hours north of Vancouver.
Oh wow, 14 hours north. That's the top of the world, man.
Closer to Alaska than Vancouver.
Oh my gosh, you're so a testament of do this from anywhere.
Yeah,
That's so cool. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's kind of, and the cool thing about what's happening in voiceover world now is that it really is international. Like what you can do. We're working on a project right now, moving into the realm of casting and producing, but we're working on a localization for a video game, a video game app in China. So the last couple of nights I've been on calls with China, and we're, it's all happening. Like, so yeah, and I hope that was specific enough.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's yeah. 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 Good, be good. What else? What else? What else is on your mind? Understanding yourself. Yes. Yeah. Um, any other questions or thoughts anyone would like to share? Quiet voiceover people. Everyone have everything they need to, oops, what happened here? Where did everyone go? Let's see,
I think everybody's starting to peel off one by one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But thank you all for hanging out and being troopers and being super eager to hang out with us a little bit longer.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's really great. And we're really here as a resource for you guys. If you have other questions, you know, this was set up as like get to know the dojo, what we're about. So hopefully you have some insights, and if you have any other questions about anything, we're always super excited to get to know you, hear what's going on for you and what you're thinking and needing next, and you know, make sure that you're not alone in your closet. Charlie, it looks like you have a question, right?
Yeah.
It's tongue.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of how to kind of word that. So I'm in that weird gray space of whether or not I am actually represented by an agency. I don't feel like I
So
have
you,
a specific agent, if that's a thing.
where are you
Or
located?
I'm located in Portland, Oregon.
In Oregon. Okay.
So I've
Okay.
been doing a lot of auditions for Atlas Talent as well as Dean Panero Talent.
That's great.
Thank you.
So you're hip pocketed by two of the best agents in the business, is what
Oh.
you're saying.
Cool.
You're hip
I know.
pocketed by two of the best agencies in the business. Dean was my agent. Dean was my agent at Abrams Artists, and he is the P in DPN, which is one of the top agencies, and Atlas is one of the top agencies in the country on both coasts. So yeah, so that's good.
I didn't know. So what's the difference between being hip pocketed and represented? Is there a difference between the two, or?
Yeah. So oftentimes it might be yeah. So represented, some agencies have you actually sign contracts, some don't. Like I'm at A3, and one of the things that's great about them is we sign paperwork, but we don't sign a contract, because their philosophy is, if we don't want you here, don't be here. And if you don't want to be here, don't be here. You know, but otherwise, but it really is, where are you in prioritization, right? If people, or it might be where you are in your development, right? That you're like, oh, yes, yes. Or you might have something that's niche. Like, do you have, you know, obviously there's a whole new, it is a great time to be part of the diversity movement. There's a whole diversity thing. So being a young African American human, that, you know, there's something about that that is like, boom, this is a great time in a way that's so freaking exciting. It's exciting for all of us, right? It's super exciting. So, you know, you might be something that the roster needs more of, so that like, oh, we you know, we know where that is. And then so there's a couple of layers, but here's the thing of it. So Jason signed with William Morris immediately, but his friend Ethan, who introduced Jason and Ethan really was like the patient zero of everything that the dojo has become. Ethan signed with a smaller agency here initially. He said his intentions. He said, I'm going to get my demo. I'm going to have an agent. In this 3 months, I'm going to, so that's like some of the intention setting, the visioning. He started with a smaller agency, and then really strategically, but from the heart, developed relationships. And you know, when we were doing workshops, met people doing things, and became friends with a very talented working young woman, right? So he didn't go to guys who sounded like himself. He went to a young woman who, and got referred to Atlas and got hip pocketed, and then just worked it from there. So you're hip pocketed. So you just show up like a pro, you make yourself available, you keep in communication. Who are you meeting? you know, like coming to fight clubs will be a great thing for you, right? Because, oh, I just met Ned Lott. He said this, and this. I'm going to go do some coaching with him. That you know, one of our nth degree members, Dylan Saunders, is with CESD,
Oh wow.
Cunningham, Escott, Slevin, Doheny, and Doherty is the D. And he came to nth degree to kind of like revitalize, get his mojo back. And he keeps on talking about like, how am I bringing value? How am I bringing value? So this is what, you know, this is goes back to the empowerment thing, right? How are we bringing value? How are we supporting the team that's there to support us, because we're in business together? So that's the way to approach it. How am I bringing value to this, so that how am I bringing value so I am seen as valuable, right? And not seen as valuable, like, oh, right. You feel the difference, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, and then that's patience, that's showing up. And I assure you, when you book your first campaign, everyone will be very happy, right?
Awesome.
Suddenly you're out of the pocket, right? So it might be you're on the farm team for the Yankees, is basically what you're, if baseball means anything to you, right? And it might not, but that, I mean, basically you've been scouted by the New York Yankees.
Cool.
Right, like the top teams of representation who know this business inside and out, and are playing at some of the highest levels, have said, you got something, kid, let's see what we can do, right? So then you just show up like a pro and keep on bringing value. Does that make sense?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
And keep on thinking of yourself as an empowered part of a team. And really what you're doing is keeping on interviewing them. Right. That's the really empowered way to think about it. Well, Atlas, all right, how do the, you know, it's
Yeah,
how does Dean think of me? Where do I fit into Dean's priorities? And how can I keep on being part of the, you know, yeah. So it's good. It's good, man. It's
Awesome.
really, really good.
Thank you. I appreciate the
Yeah.
insight. So.
Good. What else? Yeah, Carol.
So I'm a bilingual Spanish English
Mhm.
actor, and so I'm getting into the voiceover realm. Is there any advice to the whole Spanish market?
Well, I personally don't work in the Spanish market, but one of our senseis, Sensei Catherine, it does work in the Spanish speaking market, and she works internationally a lot. So she's got a lot of insights. I think understanding that obviously it can double your opportunity, right? Because your English is clearly English, right? So if you're bilingual and have accent, then that would be, you know, that would be kind of like a, you know, a little bit of an eclipse, right? That you can do both, but that would make your English speaking would be a certain niche. But if you're clearly like indistinguishably can do both, that opens up opportunities. So you want to make sure that you don't get pigeonholed, right? And once again, the diversity is changing things. It used to be like, oh, she's on a Spanish roster, we'll just do that. You need to understand the differences in the markets, right? One of the things we talk about in You Should Do Voiceover, you're coming to join us, right, in October? Is that correct? Yeah.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
Okay, good. We talk about, you know, about this tool called the cellometer, about like energy, intimacy and energy. So if you listen carefully, what is the difference between a Spanish speaking market and English speaking? There's a little bit of difference. It's a little bit more presentational. So you need to understand that's that game, that's market, right? So you just need to understand the nature of it. You need to understand the nuances of the Spanish speaking market, right? So having a neutral Spanish rather than an Argentinian, you know, like, or any, the difference between your, you know, Spanish and Mexican Spanish, so understanding those nuances. Yeah, so it's just kind of thinking it through, and it's almost like again, it's kind of like, I don't know, there's products that you see if if you live somewhere in New England, there might be stuff that's got French on it. It's toilet paper that's French and English, because it could. So you just start thinking about like, well, here's my product. Where can I sell it?
But you're able to do both, because my first language is Spanish. So ideally,
why-
I'd love to be able to do both
Why
without
couldn't
getting
you?
pigeonholed.
You're presenting what the product is. So I do English and I do Spanish, right?
Okay.
This is what I have to offer. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, awesome. Thank
And
you.
then I think it's also I know Sensei Kat has talked about how just being able to do business in, like, to be able to speak with people in the language helps facilitate, that might be something that is helpful, as opposed to just being able to do the words in English and then or in Spanish. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, great.
Well,
Thank you.
any other last thoughts, Jeffrey? Anything we've forgotten? Anything else people should know?
Nah, I think we covered just about everything.
Excellent. Well, that offers there for today. If you have any questions, touch base for a VOO with Jeffrey. Support at the VO Dojo. If you have other questions, if you have other people who should know about this, let them know. What else is coming up? Fight clubs are up on the website, I believe, for October.
Yeah, they're getting there. Caitlin's still uploading all that stuff, but we will have some fight clubs, which are a great event. If you want to see some professionals in action, a competitive audition, chosen one takes all competition to the top with a guest casting director. We just had Ned Lott, speaking of all the Pixar fans in the room, come and be our guest. We also have Ask the Sensei, which is a webinar coming up. That will be Wednesday, October 6th, I believe.
Yeah. It's Wednesday of every month, question and answer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have more questions, you can always have answers there. So yeah. Awesome.
Question: Are the fight clubs open to everybody, or can you explain how
everybody? So good question. So it's a working pro workout. So be able to play, demo, repped, and booking, or being part of an advanced belt level or the nth degree are the requirements to play. But everyone can audit. It's $49, and everyone can audit. And we, in the height of the year, we do 4 times a year. So we'll have 4 in October and 4 in November. We take December off because nobody has any brains. But yeah. So yeah. So excited to get to talk with each of you more. Thank you so much for spending part of your morning or afternoon, your lunchtime with us. And yeah, look forward to getting to work and play with you all. And thank you, Jeffrey, for holding the space for all of us. And we will talk to you very soon. Very, very soon. Okay, thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.